I counted 16 full seconds before she even looked up from her hostess stand and acknowledged the human being in front of her. 16 seconds. Now, that doesn't sound like much on paper, maybe, but when you're the one standing there, that feels like 6 minutes. Welcome to Catalyst Code Business Wealth. The biggest shifts in business don't come from trying harder. They come from letting a different idea in, from seeing what's already there differently. In these short episodes, I'll show you where revenue is being missed in any business, in any industry. This is universal. And where hidden opportunities and overlooked assets already sitting inside your business are probably in plain sight. Because when you see it, you can move it. So let's get into it. Today, I'm talking about trying to save a few dollars while quietly breaking your entire reputation. I saw it again this week. I'm watching my client's operation as dinner rush begins. The restaurant is packing out, and one host at the host stand is doing everything. Greeting guests, answering phones for reservations, answering phones for call-in takeout orders, managing takeout, Uber pickup, sprinting to the kitchen if a takeout order is missing, and seating tables. Sadly, this is standard operating procedure in the restaurant industry. Leave it to the host stand personnel to handle incoming guests and all of the takeout chaos. Meanwhile, Uber drivers and pickup customers are stacked at the stand, peeking over bags, trying to figure out if their order is ready, and they're mixed right in there with the customers who thought they might try the restaurant for the first time. They all are patiently waiting, many times while that host's head is down as he or she talks on the phone, making no eye contact with the person standing a foot away from them. Yesterday, I counted 16 full seconds before the hostess even looked up and acknowledged the human being in front of her. 16 seconds. Now, that doesn't sound like much on paper, but when you're the one standing there, that feels like 6 minutes. And in that stretch of time, something subtle but incredibly important is happening. Your guest is deciding who you are, not from your menu, not from your reviews, not from your branding, but from that moment, from whether they feel seen or invisible. And here's where most operations miss it because they think the problem is the person. It's not the person, it's what you've asked that person to carry. In restaurants, the host has the most important job in the front of house. In any business, front of house, it's the most important job. And it's not all of that other stuff. This is your first impression. Your traffic controller, the one person responsible for shifting your customer's perception in about 8 seconds flat. And yet we bury that role under tasks, phones, bags, systems, questions, interruptions, until the very person who should be reading the room and directing flow and making people feel handled the second they walk in the door, that person becomes the bottleneck. Now, step outside of restaurants for a second, because this is not just a restaurant problem, as I've already said. This is your front desk, your receptionist, your intake coordinator, your customer support line, anywhere your business is first experienced. And if you really stop and look at it, not from your perspective, but from your customer's perspective, you start to see the cracks. How long before someone is acknowledged? Do they feel welcomed or processed? Is someone taking ownership of their experience or just pointing them somewhere? Because there's a difference between greeting someone and handling them. Greeting is polite. Handling is powerful. Handling says, you're in the right place. We've got you. And that doesn't come from a script. It comes from design. It comes from clarity. It comes from giving that front-facing role the space to actually own the experience instead of juggling it. This is where I often see the biggest disconnect. We want efficiency, so we pile responsibilities onto one position. We want to save payroll, so we consolidate roles. But what we're actually doing is creating friction right at the point where trust is either built or lost. Because when that person can't look up, can't make eye contact, can't confidently direct the flow, your entire operation feels uncertain, and uncertainty is expensive. It slows everything down. It creates hesitation. It weakens the experience before it even begins. And here's the part that almost always is overlooked too. This isn't just about experience. This is revenue, your revenue. Because every moment of confusion, delay, disconnect at that front point of entry is costing you money. Fewer walk ins who decide to stay, lower perceived value before the first dollar is even spent, a slower, less confident flow through the entire system. And most of the time, operators don't even see it. You may just feel like things are a little off, like you're working harder than you should for the same results that you're getting. So the real question becomes, where are you creating friction at your point of entry because you're trying to save a few dollars? Or, more pointedly, where are you not recognizing the imperative importance of this first person contact? And what would happen if that role was actually designed to lead instead of react? Because when you shift that even slightly, everything downstream starts to change. Flow improves, confidence rises, clients feel it, and revenue follows. That's not theory, that is structure. And it's exactly the kind of friction I'm brought in to find and fix before you turn away any more clients at the door.